Hey, everybody. Listen, welcome in the building. Happy Thursday. It's October the 9th, y'all. Happy Thursday. Listen, welcome in the building. Thanks for being here for Trending Topics Thursday. I really appreciate y'all. Listen, the title is simple tonight. It's called Justice. Justice. Listen, what is it? Is he number 47? Number 47, our president. He's not playing games. Everybody he felt wronged him, he is coming after them allegedly with a vengeance. But see, what I need people to understand, and the reason why I'm bringing this up is because Letitia James, the Attorney General, has been indicted on mortgage fraud. And the reason why I'm bringing this up, and she's saying she's going to fight it tooth and nail, just like James Comey said he's going to fight his charges tooth and nail. But if we learned anything about the justice system, it ain't fair, period. Period. The justice system ain't fair. You could be innocent and they could find you guilty. You could be guilty and they could find you innocent. The justice system just ain't fair. And she's facing up to 60 years for the mortgage fraud. And she says she's going to fight this thing tooth and nail because she's innocent. Well, let me say this. When you sign those mortgage papers and you get certain loans, they clearly ask, is this going to be your primary residence? They ask that. Is this your primary residence? Because sometimes you will get special loans if this is going to be your first home or perhaps your primary residence. So they will ask you that. And if you write on the application, yes, this is my primary residence, this is where I'm going to live, blah, 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 you may get a special loan for that at a special reduced maybe, percentage rate. Now, I don't know what she put on the paperwork. I just know what they're accusing her of. So they're saying that she said a home in Virginia was going to be her primary residence, and it was not. Or the home in New York, I think, either one. And whichever home she put it on, they saying it was not her primary residence. That she was pulling the okie doke. She's saying that this is just clearly retaliation from, the president. And she's going to fight it. And she don't play them games. Well, I just hope the paperwork says the right thing. Because people need to learn. You can't do like everybody else do. You got to walk the straight and narrow line. And yeah, I see you, Wayne. You said several Republicans do the same thing. But see, the thing is, if I'm going to speak to the Black people for 1.2 seconds, if you haven't learned that we can't do like they do by now, then you are hopeful. You are hopeful. There's things that other people can get away with that we cannot. So if you want to be out in the streets playing the games with your life and your livelihood, thinking you can do like they do, then you are hopeful. And what we also learned, by watching this Diddy trial is that your lawyer matters. And in addition to that, you got to have the funds to get a top-notch lawyer. You just do. And if you don't have the funds and you find yourself in the justice system, good luck to you. Because you definitely need to be praying every single second and day. Because sometimes you don't have the right lawyer and it becomes a hot, stinking, nasty mess. Daryl said Tish will be fine. Well, I hope so for her sake. I really do. Because do I think it's retaliation? Absolutely. Do I think others do it? 100%. Is she going to be fine? I don't know. We just saw how the justice system out there in the Southern District of New York railroaded Diddy. Whether you like him or not, they railroaded him. And now you thinking Tish going to be fine? I don't know. Good luck, though. I don't even know if James Comey going to be fine. But we will see. Time will tell. But we're going to talk about it. Then we got Wendy Williams, ex-husband. Kelvin Hunter, whichever one he want to go by when he goes by it. You know, it's one thing to be married to somebody. It's another thing when you marry and you cheat. It's a whole nother thing when you marry, you cheat, and then you use your wife's funds to finance the lifestyle of you and your mistress. And you do it for about 15 years of the 20-year marriage or however that goes. Then the wife gets the courage to leave. She's going through some mental health issues or just health issues, period. And other people stealing her money. And you want to swoop in yet one more again and try to rob her for the last 2 pennies she got. You a special kind of different and you're nasty. So he called himself filing a lawsuit against Lifetime and all its entities for the Where's Wendy Williams documentary on behalf of Wendy Williams, his ex-wife. I have never seen an ex-husband come in and think they could sue on behalf of the ex-wife and they're not even in good terms. But the courts threw it out. They said, get out of here. I don't know how he thought he was going to get away with that in the first place. But you know what? When you greedy and you spend your whole life of somebody else taking care of you, why not? The man needs to go get a job and just stop it already. Go get a job, play lotto. I don't know what to tell you what to do, but enough is enough, Kevin Hunter. I mean, you was on the gravy train for 15 years straight, chalking up to the game. You got over. You got that off on Wendy for 15 years straight. You was with her, using her money to do whatever you and the mistress want to do. And as soon as you ran out of the last penny, the mistress was gone with your baby. Gone. She did all of them years terrorizing your marriage. And then as soon as the money was gone, she left. But that's what you get. And now you, in your old age, talking about your back, your hip, your leg, your thighs, your eyes, you can't see, you can't do this, and still talking about the money Wendy owes you. Sir, you got paid 10 times over. You ripped her off that whole marriage and you traumatized her. I'm going to need you to go repent somewhere, sit down and shut up. But we're going to talk about it because the courts tossed it out. Yeah, she left him. Baby girl left with her vegan pancakes and her vegan food and restaurants or whatever the case may be. And that baby probably what? The baby probably about 5 now. I don't know how old the baby is, but I know he gone. But that's what you get. That's what you get. You know, people kill me. They think they could do people dirty all their life and then they're going to wake up and just have the best life ever. It's just, come on. That's right. Karma is a bitch in heels. And it's going to come for you. At some point in your life, it's going to come for you. They said, hell has no fury like a woman scorned. This last chick, I don't know what happened between her and the ex-boyfriend. But she broke into his house and she cut his private parts. He had to go to the hospital and get some medical attention. And now she on the run. They looking for her. And let me say this. When you and somebody break up, you got to learn how to get over it. It's a wrap. You're done. You call your good girlfriends over. I don't know, if you drink wine, have a cup of tea if you me, cry a little bit, maybe for a few days or a couple weeks, your girlfriend's going to have to literally come over and help you eat some food because you so devastated. But don't be so foolish to go do something to somebody. Now you're going to be heartbroken and in jail. You're a fool. But they said she's been arrested for some things before. I'm telling you, when you dating these days, you better look at the resume. You be like, I need the resume. You say you got 2 ex-wives and 14 ex-girlfriends. I need about 5 references. 2 of them must come from the 2 ex-wives. And if I don't get them, then they'll know I will not be going to get a cup of tea with you. I need come on, do the background check. I need the references. Because these people is foolish out here. And now you got to ask, have you ever been to jail? What did you go to jail for? How many kids do you have? Do you get along with the baby mothers? How many baby mothers you got? You better ask the questions. Do you currently have someone in your life that feels like you are their boyfriend? I'm asking the questions. And guess what? If you don't want to answer them, I'm fine with that. Bye. Roy Haynes said, what's your credit score? No, we got to know. We got to ask some questions. And you a fool if you don't ask any questions. Do you live by yourself or do you still live with your mother? I'm 55. Are you living with your mom? Come on, Raheem. Do your kids call you dad or mom, or do they call you by your government name? We need to know. Do you see the kids? Do you go to their games? Are you still sleeping with the baby mothers? You know, I saw an article on this Cam Newton. I think he got 9 kids. I don't care who you are. I'm going to take a whole pass. You got that many kids and that many baby mothers. I do not want to be on the list like I'm baby mother number 9. I'll take a pass. I'm good. I got to make sure now. It's hard enough raising the kids. Now I got to make sure that my kids know all of their other 13 siblings. And I got to try to deal with the personalities of those baby mothers and try to get them to understand why all of our kids need to know each other so they don't run into the street later on in life not knowing that they siblings and they fall in love. No, we got to make sure these kids know each other, know their bloodline. Now, I want to send my kid to the college, but there is no money in the college fund because he got 9 other kids and counting. I'm telling him the baseball game is at 3 p.m. But meantime, the other siblings, they got ballet, they got a baseball game, a basketball game. He got to roll the dice and see who do I go to port today. Then he like, I can't because I got to be at the podcast and make this money. No, I'm gonna take a pass. And I'm gonna need the ladies to rise up. Because some of y'all walking in the door knowing about the nonsense and y'all still saying yes to the mess. Somebody, you know that show, Say Yes to the Dress? No, these people out here saying yes to the mess. You know it's a firestorm and you still saying yes. Where they do that at? And then y'all want me to feel sorry for them people. Just like I'm going to say this respectfully, then I'm going to shut up and bring the people in the building. Jane knew what happened to Cassie in the Diddy situation, and she still said yes to the mess, and the government of the Southern District of New York got her on the stand as a victim, but you knew what happened to this girl over here because it was public information, and you still say that's a victim? All right, if y'all say so. So now we're going to be okay with nobody being accountable for their own life. It just don't make sense. I knew somebody, they knew the person was married, and you still messing with them. You saying yes to the mess, and now you want us to feel sorry for you, but I'm trying to understand why. You knew that man was married, and you weren't talking about, well, he knew he was married too, but you knew, and you went ahead and said yes to that mess. I'll take a pass. No, I do not want nobody else's husband. I do not want nobody else's boyfriend. I do not want nobody else's roommate that y'all in some type of situation. I'm saying no to the mess. You behind on your child support, it's a no for me. You don't see your kids, it's a no for me. You and your own bloodline and mother and all of them, y'all don't get along, it's a no for me. Now, somebody else want to take on that project and that mess, then you know what? I'm happy for them. But for me, it's a no. And it's a hard no. It's not a maybe. It's not an in between the middle of the line. It's not call me and I'm going to think about it. It is a no. Yes, she can keep her problems. I don't want them because I didn't go to school to be nobody's therapist. Not about to talk you through it on the phone every night about how bad your wife is. No, I'm good. Talk to somebody else. I'm saying no to the mess. Operation Save Self. Yes, Keisha, people take on projects every day. Well, no, I don't know. I'm not taking on no projects. I'm not being a part-time therapist. I pass. Come on, Tanya, say no to the mess. But listen, people, I done talked enough. It's time to bring the people on in the building. Y'all know what I need in the chat. I need a what? I need a choo-choo. All aboard, everybody. It is Thursday night trending topics, and we got stuff to talk about. The title is called Justice. We got Letitia James indicted. We got Wendy Williams' ex still begging for a coin. And we got the woman, she cut her ex private parts. Now she catching a charge. What a fool. But let me bring the people on in the building. Hey, Julius.
Hey, y'all. Hit
hey,
the
Wayne.
Like button for the Diva.
Hey, Diva. Hey, y'all.
Thank you. Hey, Katrina. Hey, Callie.
Hey, y'all.
So, people got it, and I might as well, you know what? I might as well go ahead and start with her story. I don't care if every politician cheats to get the money to run their campaign and all of that. If you brown like me and you want to be a politician and you don't get your money the legit way, trust and believe the minute they get upset, they're going to find a way to bring that up and get you indicted. Can't do like they do. You got to cross your I's, dot your T's, and make sure every dime for your campaign came in a legit way. And if it doesn't, then you just can't run. Because it will come back to bite you. As soon as somebody get mad at you, they're going to say, Diva got the campaign money from the dealers off the street. And then next thing you know, they coming up in the office and they clinking me up. No, I'll take a pass. Hold on. Let's get into this Letitia James story. Hold on. Let me see.
Actually, we just got the video in. Let me play it for you, Rev.
President's action. This is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding, all because I did my job as the New York State Attorney General. These charges are baseless, and the president's own public statements make clear that his only goal is political retribution at any cost. The president's actions are a grave violation of our constitutional order and have drawn sharp criticism from members of both parties. His decision to fire a United States attorney who refused to bring charges against me and replace them with someone who is blindly loyal not to the law, but to the president is antithetical to the bedrock principles of our country. This is the time for leaders on both sides of the aisle to speak out against this blatant perversion of our system of justice. I stand strongly behind my office's litigation against the Trump Organization. We conducted a 2-year investigation based on the facts and evidence, not politics. Judges have upheld the trial court's finding that Donald Trump, his company, and his 2 sons are liable for fraud. I'm a proud woman of faith, and I know that faith and fear cannot share the same space. And so today, I'm not fearful. I'm fearless. And as my faith teaches me, no weapon formed against me shall prosper. We will fight these baseless charges aggressively, and my office will continue to fiercely protect New Yorkers and their rights. And I will continue to do my job.
Wow. Rev, speaking to the moment with words crafted for the history of these times.
No question about it. And I think that if he were going to pick an enemy, he picked the wrong one, because the strength and as well as the eloquence of Tish James will now be on the national stage. Because one, I agree with some of the panelists that the case will probably be thrown out. If it is not, it is going to really expose the weaponization of this president against any of his political enemies or his perceived enemies. To have Lisa Cook in the Federal Reserve and Tish James accused almost of the same crime, and then he goes after Comey. And this is a man that just a year and a half, 2 years ago, was saying that he was the victim of politicization of the criminal justice system, and juries found him guilty. Let's not forget, when Tish James and the State Attorney General's office in New York prosecuted his companies and him and his university, they didn't find him guilty. The juries found him guilty. The prosecutor can't say you're guilty. They can say you are accused. We're indicting you. He was found guilty of sexual harassment by a jury. He was found 34 counts felonies, criminal, by a jury. So there's no one that can doubt that this is all vengeance, a misuse of the criminal justice system. And I think that what he's done is going to really backfire. I think I've been getting calls already. People are ready to rally around Tish James. They know Tish James. Tish James wouldn't cross on a red light. I mean, she's annoying. She's been had so much integrity. I grew up in Brooklyn knowing her. And I think that it is absolutely absurd. He has just started the re-election campaign for her, because people are going to rally around her that may have stayed out of it because it is blatant what he's doing. In the same week, you're going to arraign James Comey, and you're going to indict the state attorney general, and both of them were people that dealt on the other side of you. I mean, people are not that stupid.
Rev, you said you know her, and she's annoyingly a stickler for rules and the law. Say a little bit more about her personally. Carol Leonnig, our colleague, reported earlier that she and her attorney were prepared for the possibility of this. I think those of us still maybe delusional enough to think that facts would prevail in Trump's Department of Justice are still shocked by it. But it sounds like our reporting suggests she was prepared for this.
She's a very methodical, able person. She will go after friend and foe and look into whatever allegations she considers right. And she does her homework. And she, I'm sure when he first started tweeting that she and others put his name out there. I mean, he doesn't even know how to whisper weaponization. He takes a megaphone and says, I'm going to go after so-and-so, and these are the people that are going to do it. So I'm sure she started preparing then. You must remember, Tish James was not a machine candidate. She ran and won on popular support when she lost a Democratic primary for a local seat. She won, went on to public advocate, went on to state attorney general. Some were pushing her to be governor. So this is somebody that is not predictable in terms of her politics, but predictable in terms of her integrity and her being able and capable of coming in the ring full prepared. And if you really want to fight, I don't think you want to fight with her. And I think that this will backfire on him if, in fact, they don't throw the case out. I don't see how this stands the light of day like Lisa Cook's allegations did. But if it does, I think that this is going to be exposed for what it is. And I think a jury will see through it.
These juries, you roll the dice, though, so I don't know. But let me share screen again. So, New York Attorney General, let me just X that out. New York Attorney General Letitia James indicted on federal bank fraud, false claims charges. Let me pause that. So New York State Attorney General Letitia James was indicted Thursday by a federal grand jury in Virginia on charges of bank fraud and making false claims to a financial institution, according to the Department of Justice. The indictment was handed up in the Eastern District of Virginia, where former FBI Director James Comey was indicted September the 25th on charges of lying to Congress and obstruction of justice. No one is above the law. The charges, as alleged in the case, represent intentional criminal acts and tremendous breaches of public trust, U.S. Attorney Lindsey Haugen said in a statement. The facts and the law in this case are clear, and we will continue following them to ensure that justice is served. In a video posted to X, James claimed this is nothing more than a continuation of the president's desperate weaponization of our justice system. He is forcing federal law enforcement agencies to do his bidding, all because I did my job, she added, arguing President Trump's only goal was political retribution at any cost. If convicted on both counts, James faces up to 60 years in prison and a fine of up to $2 million. James, 66, bought the 3-bedroom, 1-bathroom home in August 2020 for roughly $137,000, most which was financed with a $109,600 loan that prohibited it from being used as a rental investment property, prosecutors allege. That allowed her to obtain favorable loan terms not available for investment properties, they noted in the 5-page filing, saving her approximately $18,933 over the life of the loan, which is pennies on the dollar. If she should have just got a regular loan. But let's continue. When a Post reporter visited the Northwick home in April, neighbors said they had never seen James at the property. Meanwhile, Her income tax forms designated the home as a rental that brought in thousands of dollars in additional income. Norfolk property records revealed earlier this year by the Post showed James granted power of attorney to her niece, Shamice Thompson Hairston, on August 17, 2023, authorizing the purchase of the Virginia property for which they secured a $219,780 mortgage. Thursday's indictment plus the timeline of the alleged bank fraud scheme from August 2020 to January 2024 for the purpose of influencing the action of OVM Financial, a Fannie Mae backed lender, upon an application for a loan. James represented and affirmed in uniform residential loan applications and related documents that the Perrone property would be used as a secondary residence, when in truth and fact, as James then knew, the property was intended and used as an investment property with no intended or actual personal occupancy or use by her, the indictment alleged. Federal housing regulator Bill Pult referred James to the Justice Department in April, suggesting that she had committed crimes including wire fraud, mail fraud, bank fraud, and false statements to a financial institution, among other offenses. James, 66, had previously called the allegations by Pult baseless. What we're seeing today is nothing less than a weaponization of the Justice Department to punish those who held the powerful accountable, Democratic New York Governor Kathy Hochul said in a statement. James won a civil judgment against the Trump organization last year for allegedly inflating the value of his real estate empire. The president was ordered to pay $355 million in penalties, but successfully appealed in August to have the fine thrown out. James' office has appealed for reinstatement of the judgment, which had grown to more than $500 million with interest. FBI investigators began a criminal probe in May at the Pult referral, which also contained allegations of James misclassifying her Brooklyn brownstone as having 4 units instead of 5. This could have been given her more favorable loan terms on both the New York and Virginia properties, according to Pult. The Federal Housing Finance Agency head has also made similar accusations of mortgage fraud against Senator Adam Sniff for improperly claiming a home in Maryland was his primary residence. Oh, it's messy. It's messy. Julius, your thoughts?
Okay, but I'm gonna say this. Capitulation, anyone? I know I just jacked up the word, but my mouth is watering. But capitulation, anyone? That is what's ringing in my ear. So let's go through the list, shall we? We had James Comey, last week? This week, we have Letitia James. Who's next? Joe? Barack? Kamala? Who's next? You know, these sound like to me rich people problems. They got the money, they gonna use it. This rich people problems. I'm trying to keep my education afloat, honestly. This rich people problems.
Wayne, your thoughts?
Hogwash. I'm done.
Callie, your thoughts?
Do I think this lady committed some type of crazy, really egregious crime that hurt people? No, I don't. But my problem with 47 in general is that people have gone down this rabbit hole where it's like they hate him so much that they're just willing to side with anything that's not him. And it doesn't matter if it's illegal, if it hurts them, or if it's hurting other people, if it's going to be bad for everyone in the long term. It's just that this is this is opposite of him. So I don't care what it is. And that's, to me, that makes him more dangerous in the long run than anything, because it's creating this sort of thinking that anything that's not him is right. No, I think most of these people are corrupt. And I think that most of them on both sides need to be gone. I think that they are, as someone just said, these are rich people problems. They are catering to rich people. I think that they have thrown the middle class of America away, and just decided that, we're not going to have a middle class anymore. We're going to structure this country to benefit people that are wealthy, and that's it. And everybody else can just be poor and fight it out. So I don't trust none of these people. So, hey, but I don't like this mindset of just saying because 47 did something, well, he did this, so it shouldn't matter if this person over here is doing that. No, they all need to be held accountable. And none of these people should probably be in office, to be honest. But that's all I got.
Got you. A lot of politicians are corrupt, do corrupt things. They take favors from people. But again, I have to lean on the fact that in the understanding that if Black people don't know they need to stop playing these games, then they're going to learn and find out the hard way. So at the end of the day, and I don't have no problem with her, but we got to keep it 100. At the end of the day, if you got a loan and you know that loan said that needed to be your primary residence, and you wrote that it was and it wasn't, that's problematic. It's problematic. If you said that your home in New York is a 4 units and it's really 5, that is problematic. Anybody that owns a home, you got to get permits for darn near everything you're going to do inside your own home, okay? But they do that because if you restructure a bathroom, if your basement is unfinished and you finish it and you did not get a permit, on the county records, it's going to have your structure as still an unfinished basement. And then you go to try to sell it and say the basement is finished, this is done, that's done, that done, and you never got those permits and got it inspected, and they upgraded the what you call it, pay permits. Come on, Special K. They never upgraded, the information on your structure. You're gonna run into problems. The get over never works. At the end of the day, when you try to get over, you're going to pay on the back end. So you might as well do the right thing on the front end. And listen, at the end of the day, she only was going to save $18,000 over the loan. She should have just got a regular traditional loan, said this is going to be an investment property, and voila, she wouldn't be in this trouble right now. So I ain't got nothing against her. But we got to keep it real for the people in the streets. When you want to do things all kind of sideways, it's going to come back to bite you. And I believe every year on your taxes, when you go and you put your home down there too, they ask you gotta say whether this is your primary residence or not, and do you have more and this, that, and the other. The government got you in a chokehold. And if you dare mess up and do one thing wrong, it can potentially come back to bite you. Katrina, your thoughts?
Hey Diva, hey panel, hey chat. My thing is, I'm not saying that she did something wrong. I'm not saying that she didn't do anything wrong. What I'm saying is, when the other guy that Trump had to look into her background to find something on her, he found nothing. You fired this man because he found nothing on her. So you mean to tell me the man that you put there to go find something up on her, he couldn't find anything? And all of a sudden now this is happening? And I'm not saying that, it didn't happen whatsoever. But me, I would think that the house was like $100 and some $1,000. I would think that she would probably pay cash for that, because I'm quite sure she's making double of that during her annual salary. Like I said, this is messy. And they keep saying nobody is above the law. Lies. Obviously, Trump is above the law because he got 34 felonies and he's in the White House. So obviously there are people above the law, which is him. You got Pam Bundy. The whole time they was in there asking her questions, she deflected the whole time because she knows she answered those questions, she was going to commit perjury. You got Cash Patel, who sent up there with his cross-eyed looking ass. I mean, his cross-eyed looking tail, asking the question. Every time they would ask a question, they would deflect. The same thing that Trump do. He never answer a question. He always deflect. So if you finna come after me, you better come after me with your guns blazing and everything. Because if this is what you got for me to get in trouble with, you need to find something else. Because by the time they do get back there, she's not going to go to court. They're going to drop these charges. But because this man is so petty and so vindictive that everybody that came after him, he wants them in jail or fired. But he wants to still walk around and be free. Everybody that worked with him is messed up. You got Michael Cohen. He tried to defend him. What happened? He went to prison. You got Rudy Giuliani. He defended him. Now he had lost all grace. He can't even practice law anymore. But they still run behind it. You got the Pillow Man. You sent up that line talking about the thing, the election was stolen. Now you broke. But is Trump broke? No. All them swallowing around, and he's still doing what he was doing. You got Steve Bannon. He went to prison. Come on, be for real. This man is so vindictive and so petty, and it's ridiculous, and it's sad that if he act like a child that stole like somebody stole a piece of candy from him in elementary school, he's ridiculous, he's pathetic. And like I said, if she did do this, yes, she do need to be punished, but I don't think it's gonna go anywhere because they're gonna realize that this man right here is petty and he don't do anything for the United States government. We still in a high inflation. You lied and said that Biden wasn't doing what he's supposed to be doing when I knew it was a lie because there was no shortage on nothing. But y'all still raising these prices up to make Biden look bad. Has the price going down yet? Nope. You still paying high price for eggs? Yeah. Still paying high price for bacon? Yeah. You still paying high price for the stuff at Walmart? Yes. So you tell me what he got in there and did. You got one thing that you can say Trump came into the president and said, "Ooh, thank God Trump for doing it." Nothing. Because the only thing he brought into us was chaos and havoc. But that's all I got.
Thank you, Katrina. Special K, we're the only one on this same train tonight. But if you know he's like that, why would you give him the opportunity to come for you? And I get it. Listen, we could go all day long about the other people that get away with this, get away with that. I don't think that these charges are going to get thrown out that easy. They're not. Did we not just see how they railroaded Diddy, how they rewrote laws and stuff and definitions of things because they was determined to take him down and find him guilty of something? So no, these charges are not going to just get thrown out just like that. She's going to have to spend lawyer money and it's going to be dragged out or whatever the case may be. But let me tell you something. If no matter how we feel, if she wrote on the loan application, which they're going to pull, that she said she was going to live in this home and she never lived in that home, it's going to be problems. It's going to be problematic. And he got a lot of people in his back pocket because at the end of the day, he's the president. So my thing is, and if she lied and said about her unit in Brooklyn, you know, what that it was 4 units versus 5, it's another problem. It's just so high. And this is not, I know what you saying, Julius, this is rich people problems. This ain't about no rich people problems. This is problems that if you just simply own a home, you better know the laws, the rules, and the regulations because you will get hemmed up too. I'm telling you right now, in your own quote unquote home, you go ahead and make some renovations and restructuring and you didn't get the right permit, it ain't going to be good for you. I had to get a permit to redo my kitchen. I had to get a permit to redo my bathroom. I had to get a permit when they was changing my roof. It's a mess. It costs money and you got to pay. And when I came into my home, there was the time when I bought my home, they was giving this tax kickback. And the tax kickback, it gave you back a $2,000 credit over 3 years or something like that, whatever it gave me. But clearly it asked me the question, was this my first home and was it going to be my primary residence? And I said yes, because yes, it was true. And they also asked me to get that kickback at the time. Was I going to live in this house for at least 5 years? So it's very serious when you using government money and funds and they're asking you questions on those applications. You better be mindful of it because it can come back to bite you. I don't know what she did or didn't do, but they are claiming that she said on the application and she took a Fannie Mae loan. They definitely got mad criterias on those loans. And I think I also told you the story. I had the opportunity to get they call it, darn it, they call it reduced housing in this one development, right? So it could be a development where they're building $500,000 homes, but they have to have a certain percentage of their homes to low income for purchase. And so everybody else in the general population, they may pay $500,000 and above. For the low income, you may pay $300,000. But when you go to sell that home, even if every home in that development has raised up to the $1 million market value, they're going to determine what they call the low income value of that home. And you cannot, no matter what you did to your home, you cannot sell your home for more than what the low income is. So my point is, you play around with the Fannie Mae and all them Craig Mack loans or whatever, you will break the law and they're going to come for you. So I wish her all the best. Do I think he's retaliating? Well, we've seen him do it. He absolutely is. And why is he coming for her neck? He really coming for her neck because he feels she came for his. And then said they dismissed that $350 million. And then she said, no, we want to still go for it. When you play in the sandbox, you got to know who you playing with. And nothing's better than the song, what's his name? Kenny Rogers. You got to know when to hold them, know when to fold them, know when to walk away, know when to run. So when he got back in that office as the president and they dismissed that $355 million, she should have said, you know what, that ain't my circus no more, not my ministry. I'm going to let it go. But I'm going to move on. We got to move on to Wendy Williams, okay? Wendy Williams' ex. Oh, in my opinion, I'm sorry. Did you want to say something about this story?
You can go ahead.
Okay. So, so let me, I'm sorry, I got distracted. Let me go ahead and run this Wendy Williams story. Okay. So Wendy Williams, judge tosses ex-hubby's lawsuit. This man is relentless. He has not gotten off of Wendy back since the day she divorced him. It's like, leave her alone. Wendy Williams' ex-husband needs to go back to the drawing board if he wants to take legal action over her guardianship because a judge just tossed a lawsuit he tried to file on her behalf. According to new legal docs obtained by TMZ, the judge just denied Kevin Hunter's motion to proceed with the suit as a so-called friend of Wendy's, but he did leave Kevin an opening to refile the case. He ain't gonna be able to win this case. Wendy called during Thursday's TMZ live stream, sharing her thoughts about the suit being thrown out and also how she's got no clue how much money she has in the bank, which is sad.
Oh, hold on, it's Wendy Williams.
Make sure she knows.
Hey, Wendy.
Hi.
You're on our live stream, just so you know. So if you don't want to say anything, you don't have to, okay?
Yeah, well, it's regarding my attorney, Alan Diamond.
We're cutting it.
So
we're gonna cut the live
Kevin
stream
Hunter
moment right now,
Sr.,
too.
your ex-husband, they dismissed the case?
Yes, it was dismissed.
Can you bring my mic down?
You know, it was at a federal court hearing, earlier this morning. And, of course he wants to steal my money, the ex. In the meantime, it's been dismissed,
Are we going to?
and I'm happy. Why not?
Yeah, it made no sense to me. And by the way, I just want you to know, we got to do the show, but I just went on a tirade about why you're in this guardianship still. And, I actually had a talk with your niece about this, that
Yes.
you sound fine to me. And I don't care if you've been diagnosed with frontotemporal or not. If you're able to take care of yourself and you're lucid, you shouldn't be in a fifth floor memory unit You should be a free woman. And I'm just really outraged by it, Wendy. I really mean it.
Not only not on this floor, the memory unit floor, but I don't want to be in this building. This building is for people 60 and above. And I don't care that I'm 61. I am gorgeous. Who wants to live in a dump like this? It's too expensive.
Well, it's $25,000 a month.
Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So a lot of people, and you still don't know how much money you have left.
The Guardian is stealing my money.
Well, no, you shouldn't say. We can't say that because we don't know. But what we know is you don't know how much money you have left.
My attorneys and I are highly upset at a few different things. But yeah, you know, when I get out of guardianship and go back to making money, money, more money, more money.
Okay, we got to go do our show. I just want to say hi.
Thank you. Bye.
Okay,
Bye.
I'll talk to you soon.
She said when she get out, she gonna make more money. Come on, Wendy. Wendy called in during Thursday CMZ live stream, sharing her thoughts about the suit being thrown out, and also how she has no clue how much money she has in the bank. You'll recall Kevin filed a federal lawsuit on Wendy's behalf in New York back in June to release her from the shackles of her guardian, Sabrina Morrissey. But Wendy told us she had nothing to do with the lawsuit. I'll get to that in a minute. And in denying Kevin here, the judge says he can file an amended complaint without.
Wendy Williams' husband has filed a $260 million lawsuit claiming that Wendy is being held against her will in an illegal guardianship, has caused all sorts of financial and emotional damage. Problem is, he's divorced from her, and she doesn't like her much.
No, it was not a great divorce.
She doesn't like him much.
And even though she's had to pay him out a whole lot of money over a lot of years, she doesn't want him a part of this. And you know this straight from the source.
Well, I know it straight from the source because before I talked to the source, meaning Wendy, it was just apparent to me. I mean, he's filing this as Kevin Hunter, her friend. I mean, when does a friend have standing to file a 200? She had no idea about this lawsuit. During our morning meeting here at TMZ, Wendy called me and I talked to her about it. Did you know your ex-husband, Kevin Hunter, was filing this lawsuit claiming to represent you?
I had no idea.
And
Nor do I want him to be a part of my life like that. No.
why?
Because I'm divorced forever.
And so this lawsuit that he's filing for $260 million?
Uh-huh. Well, you know, he's a money grubber. He's always been that way. Look, I don't want to say too much, you know what I'm saying? But it's good to know that he's doing such evil things. Again, he won't win.
Sounds pretty sharp if some of the question is whether she's sharp or not.
She is sharp.
Right.
And that the guardianship is an outrage. I'm sorry for being so bold to say that, but I've talked to Wendy for hours upon hours. That's Wendy Williams. That's what she was like 10 years ago. That's what she's like today.
And somebody else who's on the same page with her is her attorney, Joe Tacopina.
The guy who's trying to get her out of this guardianship.
Who you also talked to on TMZ.
Okay, well, let me be very, I want to analyze this in a very legal way. That's what I think. The guy has no standing, okay? This thing should be dismissed with sanctions, honestly. I don't know what this lawyer was thinking, but he has no standing to file this lawsuit. It's a self-serving lawsuit, clearly. And more importantly, Wendy Williams doesn't need her ex-husband, who was not a very good husband, to file a lawsuit on her behalf. If and when Wendy Williams is going to file a lawsuit to outside of the guardianship proceeding to get out of the guardianship, we will file a lawsuit. I will file a lawsuit. We don't need her ex-husband's lawyer to file a lawsuit. That has no legal standing whatsoever. So, you know, thanks, but no thanks.
I am so baffled by this that he did have the assistance of a lawyer in filing this. On what planet would a judge entertain a lawsuit by an ex-husband that she doesn't even like and didn't even know that he was doing this.
But does she still owe him money?
I don't think so, because her show is so long gone, and they had a deal. I think it was that he would get money for 5 years, but the show ended after 2 years. But we're so far past that I think that's all over.
Hi, my name is Nana, and I'm from New York. And my opinion on the Wendy situation is that we all know that this is a cash grab from Kevin. If he's willing to do this, then we should let him, because beggars cannot be choosers in this situation. He's going to be the only one that's willing to do a lawsuit. And if Wendy can be released from this, then they should let him do it. Because at the end of the day, Kevin can just give her a check, and then Wendy could be released. So everything will be okay.
But he may not be the only one willing to do it. Is Joe Tacopina thinking about a lawsuit? Do we have a sense of?
No, I know exactly what Joe's doing. Joe is going to file. Wendy is going through these medical tests right now. This whole business of frontotemporal dementia, I mean, there's just no way she could have that, because it only gets worse. And when you look at her 5 years ago, she's gotten better, and it doesn't make sense. So they're going to do the medical test, then ask the judge to release her from the guardianship. The judge is probably going to say no, based on everything we've seen. And then Joe is going to demand a jury trial, which you can get in New York. And a jury will ultimately decide, should Wendy be free of this guardianship?
And my guess is
she's going to win.
She's going to win, because she's always had a whole lot of fans in New York.
But it's also the right thing to do.
Right.
In denying Kevin here, the judge says he can file an amended complaint with allegations and claim on his own behalf, but he's got to leave Wendy out of it. Wendy and Kevin divorced in 2021 after 21 years of marriage, and the split was nasty, to say the least. Kevin Hunter, Wendy Williams, I don't know what happened here. Wendy's guardianship started in 2022 after Wells Fargo froze her bank accounts over what the bank said was suspicious activity. And Kevin's lawsuit claimed Wendy was being exploited, and he was seeking $250 million in compensatory damages. Wendy Williams told us when this was filed, it was like Kevin was making a cash grab, and now he's back to square one. So he got a loss today. He can refile it, but he got to leave Wendy's name out of it. Julius, your thoughts?
Oh, here we go with this man child. I'm about to be like Judge Maybelline in Medea's Diary of a Mad Black Woman. What is this repeat offender day? Because this man is responsible for this whole conservatorship in the first place. This man is responsible for being unfaithful to her, for causing her decline and all of that. And having his son request a whole bunch of money to support his other woman. Now, I guess she's now history. That caused this whole thing in the first place. But yet now he wants to say to the judge, oh, I loved Wendy. I'm just filing on behalf of Wendy. BS. Now, Wendy said herself, that brother can kick rocks. I'm glad his complaint was denied. She said herself. And she said when she get out of there, she's going to be making money.
More money, more money, more money. Come on now. Thank you, Julius. What are your thoughts?
Yeah, I agree. And I think even if Wendy is broke with no money and gets off the guardianship, with her status, celebrity status, I can see her coming right to YouTube and thousands of subscribers.
Mm-hmm.
And I think she's like that. I think she would do what she got to do. And millions of people would like to see Wendy again. Back and it's for social media, because now really social media is taking over. So she will walk right into money. However, I hope she's not broke. And for Kevin Hunter, I mean, delusional to think that she has a great lawyer and he could just walk in and do something and they wouldn't find out about it. But I do hope she gets, it goes like he says. If the judge turns it down, then it's a jury trial. Then she be back on the street. That's it.
Mm-hmm. In my opinion, your thoughts?
Let's be clear. Kevin Hunter is one of the last people we want to ever have custody of Wendy. He showed his character when he was a husband and a producer over her show. He wasn't very good at neither one of those. So we don't want you over our Wendy neither, okay? On top of that, she actually has family that can fight for her. And she has an attorney. So, sir, stay your lane. You just want your cars back that's been deported. And your hip surgery that you've been arguing about, trying to get that $50,000. We ain't buying it, okay? You want to take care of Serene on Wendy money. You're going to have to do that another time, okay? She ain't coming back to you. You broke. She ain't coming back. You might as well go ahead and get a job and stop bugging Wendy.
Thank you. In my opinion, Katrina, your thoughts?
My thoughts is I'd be mad as heck if I'm paying $25,000 for a room that I don't want to be in. Do you know how much $25,000, baby? That's but that's 3 house payments, probably more than that. And I'm staying somewhere. You use my money to have me somewhere I don't want to be, and then you got this clown coming out here talking about he's suing for 246 million because you're a friend of mine. If you was a friend of mine, you would protect me when you was with me. You won't be have me going through all this stuff that I was going through. And like I said, Wendy's a grown woman. Can nobody make her use or take or drink anything unless she wanted it. But the thing of it is he was using that to keep her pacified while he was out in the streets. So anyway, he need to call the farmers. The farmers need somebody to pick their soybeans and blueberries. They lacking in help on that. Go work, man. Leave this dumb woman alone. You're not getting no more of her money. You did that, but just went through this lady money. Now I can say when he was over her show, he did make sure that she was there to do the show, of course, so she can make them money. And she paid you. You went got your house. You tried to lie and tell the people that somebody had messed up your car when the folks seen there was rain damage. He's a big liar. He's a big fraud. And like I said, the farmers need somebody to pick their soybeans and blueberries. You got a job. That's all I got.
Callie, your thoughts?
I actually don't buy it that he was instrumental in making sure that she got to work and all of this stuff. I just think that her health was better. And as her health started to decline, it became more difficult. I don't think it had anything to do with him. I think all he did was create chaos and confusion. We've heard stories about how he was acting up in that office. He has no qualifications or experience for that job, which is why he can't produce another show. He's not even producing a YouTube show. I mean, this man, to me, I think that Wendy had substance issues that clouded her judgment, and that was the only reason why she kept him around as long as she did, because she was not thinking with a clear mind. Now that her mind is clear, she sees him for the money-grubbing gold digger that he is, and that is all he is. He's a failed gold digger. You got enough money from Wendy. You should have been straight for the rest of your life. But you didn't know how to manage that money because, again, you don't know nothing about finances or business. Wendy just had you propped up so she could keep you around and you could feel like you was doing something. And now he's probably starting to see like, wow, I really didn't know what I was doing. But as far as this conservatorship mess, I think they're taking advantage of the fact that they're probably, and I'm just speculating, there might not be a lot of research on alcohol-induced dementia in combination with someone with the symptoms of Graves' disease. So they're kind of taking that and making it seem like she has this regular dementia and she, is going to progressively get worse. But this is actually a little bit of a different condition. That's what I suspect is going on, because I do agree people with dementia don't gradually get better. That's not what that's whatever this is that is going on with Wendy. And I think a lot of it is just her Graves' disease. you know, those moments of confusion that we do see when she's sober, or she could not be sober. I hope that's not true. But yeah, I definitely don't think that she is at a point where she needs to be paying to be in this facility. And if Wendy was broke, she wouldn't be there. This is my whole thing with, I don't understand with this whole entire situation. If Wendy did not have any money, nobody would care if she was in a facility. She would just be living on the street like a lot of other homeless and sick people. But because she has money, we have to now take this money and keep her in this facility. And we can't let her out because something could happen to her. We could be liable. But it's something happening to a lot of people. They just ain't got no money to pay to be in a facility. This whole thing, this seems very, very shady, because what are you guys so afraid of if you let her out of there? If her family is willing to sign off on something saying that they won't hold you liable, they're not going to sue you if something happens to her, then what is the fear?
They want her money.
Exactly. This is just something to take someone's money.
Yeah, as soon as you don't have any money, they're going to release her out of there anyway. But it's going to be a miracle. It's going to be a miracle.
The problem is, I don't know how her money is set up. Wendy could have had a good financial planner where she could have investments that pay dividends every month, and that money could never run out. So she's going to be in there until she's no longer here. And I have a feeling that might be the case because Wendy is very smart. I don't think Wendy was just taking her money and spending it. If she had it set up with ETFs and income house and income properties and things like that pay dividends, she's probably getting money monthly forever. So the money is never going to run out. So in other words, she's never going to be able to get out of there. And I think that's one reason why they don't want to let her go.
No, I think they don't.
Well, they sold her properties.
Yeah, they sold her property, but
no, I'm not talking about her property that she's talking about the dividends. I'm talking about things that she could have invested in.
Yeah, no, I clearly know what you're talking about, like a wealth account. But see, here's the problem that I have. All of Wendy's money seemed to have been tied up in Wells Fargo. So let Diva do a public service announcement. I don't care if you have a lot of money or a little bit of money. You shouldn't have all your money in one bank. Okay, so I got several accounts, and I
invest in credit unions more than banks. And I already told y'all that Wells Fargo is a very shady bank. Trust me, I know.
All right, so let me.
Yeah, they are, and they don't bank the entertainment industry. As far as what I was told, somebody took her account over there. They left, because I'm surprised she's not with City National. Because City National is like a bank that was literally created for people like her, like entertainers.
There's several banks. Hold on, guys. There's several banks that created for people with wealth. There's several. So, but my point is to everyone: all your eggs should never be in one basket. So when Wells Fargo went to go freeze her accounts, they were successful, and then Wendy, and this is why I know she didn't have another account, because she said she couldn't get no money. So that means that everything you had was with Wells Fargo. And when she tried to move it from Wells Fargo, they had already did the okie doke on her and locked her out of her own stuff. So, yes, there are, when you have diversity in your wealth portfolio, when you are with a certain bank, there's some that may be giving you dividends, but to get those dividends like that you're returning I don't care how much money you have, just like with Diddy, was a billionaire, then all the deals fell out, and then dropped him down, and now he's not getting anything in, and is depleting his account with all of these legal fees. I don't care where you have all of your money at and all of that stuff. At the end of the day, when no more is coming in and all you're doing is pulling out, the bank will eventually run dry. So with that being said, the minute she don't have a dime, they will miraculously tell her family, you could come get her, you can have her, it's a wrap. But the reason why I believe they're holding on to her tight, because they don't want to account for where her money went. Where did they use all of this money when they sold her condo in New York? Where did all this money go? Where did the money go from where's Wendy Williams, the Lifetime production? Where did the money go? So they're holding on to her because they don't want to say where this money went. That's why this Sabrina is so pissed and she's staying stuck, you know, on what Wendy diagnosis is, because when they did some background check, that doctor that first gave the bank to Wells Fargo, they paid him 10 grand to produce that note. So this been a scam from the minute it happened, and it's a hot, stinking, nasty, filthy mess.
Diva, what facility she's staying in that's causing you $25,000 for one room?
But you know what, Katrina, that is not even the top and a lot of money. There's regular, average, everyday people. If you ever had to put a family member in any
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like that's like 6,000 and 3,000, 4,000. But you listen, you can't have no outside property because they would take it.
Katrina, you better come up and look stuff up. Some of these people that are not Wendy Williams are dropping $10,000, $15,000 a month to be in some of these facilities, and that don't even include when you need medical, a higher level of medical care. No, these facilities are expensive, and then in general, outside of Wendy Williams, in general, memory units are more expensive to be in, because they gotta constantly follow you and make sure that you know you don't leave, nothing happens to you. So no, these medical, those nursing homes and those facilities, and then when you talk about you have your own room, even in a regular nursing home, for the patient to have their own room, they're paying bank. Usually you have a roommate, and then sometimes you have two other roommates. It's 4 people in the room. Yeah. You have regular people on Special K paying $18K a month for their own room. It's nasty. Yeah. Ms. Hearn said we were paying 200 cash per month for home care off the books. Yeah. It's nasty. The bill is nasty whether you are Wendy Williams or not. So $25K a month, you know, it's not. I'm not like oh my God, especially in the memory care unit. But let me roll into this last story really quickly. This woman, the ex-boyfriend, she breaks into his home. She's a mess. Let's get into the story. So, Ohio woman nutsack attack. She came, she saw, she sliced. That is a previous mugshot picture of her. So that means she's been in trouble before. So break-in, balls out. An Ohio woman is the target of a police woman hunt after a ballsy break-in at her boyfriend's, home, where she sliced open his nutsack, according to police. Authorities have issued an arrest warrant for accused scrotum slasher Juanita Hopkins after the 45-year-old woman allegedly kicked in the front door of her boyfriend's Toledo home and barged inside to perform her amateur surgery on him with a sharp object. And get this, cops say Hopkins cut her boyfriend so badly that one of his nuts was fully exposed, requiring treatment at a local hospital. Yikes. Hopkins has been charged with felony assault, where the victim was seriously harmed, and aggravated burglary. Worth noting, a mugshot from a previous arrest is floating around, and they used that above. But we're told Toledo police are currently still searching for her. The balls are in the cops' court now, because it's up to them to find this alleged testicle terror. She's a hot mess. And she's 45 and in these streets acting a whole fool. She's stupid. It can't be that serious. Julius, your thoughts?
She messy. She know better. She need to do better.
Thank you. She don't know better, and she can't do better because she got a previous mugshot. Wayne, your thoughts?
I don't know how he let her get that close. I don't know.
Especially being that she kicked in the door.
Oh, I mean, wouldn't he have had to go through some, some cloth or something like that? I mean,
maybe he was asleep. I don't know.
But I hope she gets some time for this one though.
I think she going to. I think she a whole menace to society. She could have really hurt him. And my thing is, it can't be that serious, girl. You 45 and you don't know how to navigate a bad relationship or a breakup. Like, come on, she got to do better. In my opinion, your thoughts? Yeah, Denise, I'm thinking he was asleep and he woke up to being cut up.
This woman crazy. To break in somebody's house, it's sickening. And then not only to break into somebody's house, to cut off their manhood is even worse. I know he had to be asleep because ain't no man gonna let no woman get that close to him, especially after he went to sleep and his door was closed and locked, and now all of a sudden she in there. This is give thin line between love and hate, a crazy rap. I don't know where these people are bred from. That they think they can just come in and do whatever they want. But she do need some jail time and some serious mental health checkup because she ain't right.
Katrina, your thoughts?
She must thought he was a pig. Because you can take the pig testes and eat them. So they call them mountain oysters. But anyway, if she broke in the house, she didn't make no noise when she broke in. When she bust through the door, he was that sleep. And then at least he still got him. Lorena Bobbitt told her husband's in a field. She cut his penis off. And at least I hope he had some children, because she she tried to castrate that man. So was he out there just cheating or whatsoever? Because she was trying to castrate him for real. And then you could tell something wrong with it, because who smiled like that in a done mugshot? She's smiling like she just won the lottery. And that man, I hope he can walk right. I feel sorry for him, 'cause I know he in some pain. And yeah, she need to be caught, because she's gonna be castrating all men all over the United States. They need to catch her, because child, oh Jesus, I bet that man probably scared to even go to sleep anymore. I know. I don't know what he did. Well, he don't deserve that, because I don't know what he did or whatsoever. But man, you need to go straight, whatever you did, because this woman, she might come back, she might circle back, because she's a nut. But that's all I got. That's all I got, Eva.
She is a no. But you know what though? See, this is the thing. When it's domestic violence against women, we understand it. And we're like, oh my God, catch that man, lock him up. He's a monster, whatever the case may be. At the end of the day, this is a form of domestic violence. This woman is sick, and he could have died. And I don't care if he cheated or not. I mean, people cheat, and is cheating messed up? But you don't have the right to be trying to take somebody's life or cut their manhood off because whatever happened between y'all. You got to get over it, pull yourself together, and get a life. This woman is 45. She's not in her 20s. She's 45. Like, she got to do better with her life. So like they said, she got a mugshot from before. I don't know what she did before, but okay, what are we doing? 3 strikes and you out? They need to catch her. She needs to do some time, and they need to add a DV charge to her, because this is messed up. Callie, your thoughts?
Not a DV charge, need attempted murder.
Yeah, this is beyond DV. Like, she mutilated this man and traumatized him for the rest of his life. Hopefully he'll heal and he'll be okay. He can't go to work. Like, this man was maliciously attacked. Yep. And I don't know what her motivation was, but I will say, you experience people, you do not possess them, you do not own people.
Oh, come on.
And I wish that people would be able to look at relationships that way and comprehend things that way, because when you do, when the experience goes left, you don't miss that person, because you're there for the experience. You're not there to possess the person. This is, I don't know what she did before. I would be curious to know what she did before, but lock her up for a long time. this is beyond DV. This is like, yeah, this is, I don't know what more they could charge her with. I guess she would be charged with the highest degree of assault. Probably. But yeah. Did they catch her?
They did.
That's a mugshot, right?
I was digging and digging.
Okay, yeah, okay.
No.
Yeah.
That mugshot was previous. So no, she was on the run, and I was digging and digging to see have they caught her yet, and they did not. From the last thing that I checked online to see, I couldn't find anything where they caught her. But yeah, I just think that society, when if a man would have came in and cut a woman's breast and broke her door down, the people would be outraged. Like, oh my God, how dare he? Or if he would have stabbed her in the stomach or stabbed her in her private area, the people would be outraged. Violence is violence, regardless of who the violence is against. This woman needs to be caught and she needs to pay the price. I don't care. It's just, I was just like, what? Like, what are we doing here? And especially because at 45, you should know how to navigate your emotions at that point. Whether he cheated or not, or whatever his story was, I really don't care. You need to know how to navigate your emotions. But to bust down the door and to cut him in his private area is crazy work. And they need to find her and lock her up and maybe keep her behind bars and maybe she learned. That was just crazy. But I promise you, if the story would have been the man the ex-boyfriend busted her house, cut her breasts up and cut her in her private area, it would be so problematic. We have got to learn how to understand that justice is justice, no matter if you're a male or a female. We need to look at things the same. Listen, guys, I appreciate y'all. I'm going to stay connected to these stories. Y'all know the routine. If you didn't hit that like button on the way in, hit the like button on the way out. Good night and goodbye, everybody. Choo, choo.
Choo, choo.
Choo, choo, choo.